Nothing steals my valuable attention away from the meaningful things in life, quite like a fake threat of kidnapped children about to be killed by a fabricated serial killer. Why is he photographing each movement instead of the much more efficient option of videoing and taking screenshots? This ain't 1989, man, it's 2008, and that technology is readily available. Ah, sudden Colonel Sanders.
For that, the academics are wide open.
I am positive Joe was instructed to sit directly in front of the projector like this because it looked cool, and it does not. It looks painful.
What did you study?
Criminal justice, but sports appreciation was all full up at my community college.
Teacher jokes.
I hold doctorates in chemistry, mathematics, and engineering, as well as BAs in psychology and sociology.
We find out shortly that Reed is 27, and to get the master's and doctorate in all three of those courses would be 6 years apiece minimum. But let's just be generous and say it took him 12 years to accumulate all three of these doctorates and the 2 BAs. He's been in the BAU for at least going on 4 years if the series is moving along at a year-a-season ratio, and I'm thinking he was with them at least a year or two before the series properly starts. So this puts him graduating high school somewhere between the ages of 8 and 10, but his Wiki fandom page says he graduated from high school at 12. So I say all this to point out that Wiki fandom pages are bullshit and extremely sinful. Also, damn, this show is brave. In this back-to-back shot of the same students in the same seats, we see Colonel Costanza, and then he's simply gone. But who cares, right? We're not here for continuity. We just want to see our heroes outsmart a psychotic murderer.
I'm going to present this information to the team, and if they're interested, I'll call you.
If your team is interested?
I would give every cent back if Paul Michael Glazer would introduce himself as Detective Dave Starsky.
You really need to be careful how you phrase things.
Mansplaining.
An existentialist would never change the bulb. He would allow the darkness to exist.
And a good television show would leave dialogue like this on the cutting room floor, but here we are. Also, remember when network sweeps were a big deal and all your favorite shows had stunt castings? And remember how it almost always sucked?
I don't understand. What are these?
7 homicide victims.
What I don't understand is why did Rothschild wait until they were at the university for this reveal? Could have told them about his plan from anywhere, right? Hell, he could have even pulled a John Doe, walked into the BAU and screamed, "Detective!"
There is still time to save the others, though.
What the f*** is going on with Jason Alexander's accent in this show? This shit is worse than Halle Berry's disappearing dialect in X-Men or Keanu Reeves' diminishing drawl in The Devil's Advocate.
Unless you can find a way to save them.
Whee! Murder victim portraits raining from the sky like propaganda at a parade. There's way too much going on in this title screen. Is the show's title Criminal Minds? Or is it Criminal Minds Behavioral Analysis Unit, Quantico FBI?
Let us consider that we are all insane.
Criminal Minds narration. Mind narration? Narranimal?
Because I can do this job.
I'm sorry, has somebody suggested that you can't?
Have they?
Not to me.
What boss would play the pronoun game in this scenario instead of trying to figure out what's bugging one of his employees? Agent Huntner, that's who.
Reed and I were just approached by some guy here with photos that he claims are 7 women he killed.
And I'm saying this at top volume so all these random college students can hear me because TV show.
I don't think so, Hutch. I get a hit off him, something hinky, I'm bringing him in.
This would fall under things you probably shouldn't share in front of a suspect you're about to attempt to extract information out of. Are we really supposed to believe these are the cream of the crop in behavioral analysis?
What is this?
Do not forget a word he says the rest of the time we have him.
I also learned from my Wiki fandom research that Reed has an eidetic memory, which means he never forgets anything. In fact, he can't forget anything. So what the f*** is Rossi even concerned about here?
If you're trying to piss me off, it's not gonna work.
He's not kidding. Dude acts on the same level no matter what the scenario. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but they should have used an acting tool in classes called the Montaigne method.
Why turn yourself in?
Imagine what the world would have missed if Da Vinci never showed his work.
Or imagine if Jason had said no to this wig and this role. Imagine if all the electronics stopped working and I couldn't finish this show. Am I doing this right?
Oh, did you need something?
Nope, this forced female bonding moment was it. But, you know, if our writing team isn't satisfied yet, we can talk about our periods syncing up and dialogue about pay disparity. The audience loves that.
With 4 children. When a parent arrived at 9:30 this morning.
Of course, the newscaster is spouting off info tangentially related to the case they're working on, because what would a crime procedural be without convenient news position?
Do you understand your rights?
Perfectly. I can have a lawyer, no thank you. Some games are just intended to be played by higher intellects.
Jesus Christ, this discount Hannibal Lecter Moriarty Murdoch bullshit is so lame. What were they going for here? Making a big bad out of the asshat stock guy from Pretty Woman?
Harming a person weaker than you doesn't take any special ability.
Neither does slamming your fist down on a table, but we all must do what we must do.
Professor Rothschild would be intellectually superior at TVSins.
I never have any normal fans.
I feel you, Reed. In this disturbing scene, we see the camera taking video from inside the torture chamber. Who's taking that footage? The only camera we've been shown is attached to the door, and only able to take still images.
You'd need a place with a lot of privacy to hide 5 victims.
A house.
He's local.
The conclusions that are drawn based on space is ridiculous. I can think of several places to hide a woman and 4 kids, a large fan, a walk-in closet, a storage shed, a rented hotel room, maybe in an abandoned warehouse, and let's not forget the obvious go yourself for making me think like this, TV show.
Late for the presentation. You know, it was more like 2.5 hours after the abduction. He got there around noon, which...
Obviously, Reed could remember Rothschild walking in late, but how would he know the exact time if he wasn't looking at a watch or a clock? And we have no evidence he was doing either. CB underlined, CB not underlined. Am I sending continuity? No, I'm sending their goddamn clear board that nobody can read from across the room because of the massive television on the wall behind them. Use a regular dry erase board like real people.
If he hasn't been fingerprinted, he hasn't been arrested, which also means he hasn't had a passport, driver's license, or been in the military.
There are only 4 states that require fingerprints to receive a driver's license, and Virginia isn't one of them. You don't always need a rule of 3, man. The list of unsubbed traits grows, but Rossi's handwriting is so illegible. What's this, folklore? Even if he was using a normal whiteboard, nobody would know what the is happening.
Golden rat? Oh no.
Fun fact, in this episode, GoldenRat.net is live streaming victims of a serial killer being tortured. These days, GoldenRat.net will redirect you to a website designed to woo you into a relationship with an entity that will never leave your conscience for the rest of your life. Let me know if you dared to visit the site.
I didn't spend the last 5 years of my life working on a masterpiece just to fold to a bad bluff, especially for someone who doesn't even have a hand to play.
Poker metaphors. Also, how did Rossi know Rothschild would take the route of choosing to leave? What if he had decided to stay and utter some more pretentious bullshit? Would Prentice just walk in, and would that play out the same way they were wanting it to?
So far, I've got 39 missing brunettes in Central Virginia.
Okay, 30 years old like Kaylee, narcissists tend to be extremely preferential.
28.
Ah, yes. How would these TV show investigation departments get anything accomplished if it wasn't for these magical computer program cliches?
Said he's been working on this for 5 years.
Over the last 5 years, 17.
Was Garcia seriously not given the time parameters to work with? That would seem like seriously important information.
I was thinking maybe we should give Reed a shot.
You think he's smarter than me?
Who gives a shit if he is? There are lives on the line, and Reed is the smartest person on the team. The idea that he wouldn't be in every interrogation, or at the very least observing from a distance, is ridiculous.
Jordan, you are a member of this team. There is no they, it's we.
Great, Skip.
Do you know that I was born with an extra Y chromosome?
So?
It means I was born to be a killer.
Actually, it usually means you would be taller, an average height of 6'3" to be exact. Jason Alexander is 5'5", so what's that about?
I have an extra Y, it makes me a killer.
That's junk science, a joke.
You know, a lot of people say the same about criminal profiling overall, but we've still got 313 episodes of this show and counting to contend with.
These kids are 6 years old, right?
All 4 of them.
It's just an odd pattern for kids to leave toys in.
Really? You learned that at FBI school? There was a class on the toy patterns children leave? He knows math, arty things, galaxies, flowers and Also, how is this not the go-to calculating gift? Also, we interrupt this Criminal Minds show to bring you a very special American version of Sherlock.
There's still something bugging me about this.
Just one thing? Just one thing? This whole team is going off of Reed's Fibonacci sequence theory, which might be fine, but they're also basing this on the idea that they have correctly identified the 7 previous victims, which, other than being located close to each other and being brunette, have zero else in common. Everything about this resolution is bugging the out of me.
You killed them because they were beautiful?
You mean hypothetically?
Well, I'm just trying to understand this math thing.
Oh, hang in there, because the reasons for these murders started in genetics, leaked into art and math, and will soon spiral into beauty, books, and finally land on vengeance. Don't ask questions. We're on a dramatic journey into madness.
The golden ratio is a subconscious identifier of perfect humanness.
Crazy bad guy spouts off a lot of blah 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 because it sounds cooler to a writer than it actually is cliche.
This is all about my books.
See, that's where the real problem is, everyone. Movies, TV shows, and video games don't make people kill people. It's boring-ass books written by criminal profilers. Those are the real culprits.
It was never about that perfect woman or those wonderful children. It was about your team.
This entire charade depended on 5 people racing into the torture house. What if someone was sick that day? Also, let's say 2 people race into the front door and are immediately killed by acid. The other 3 wouldn't be lemming their way over the sizzling corpses of their friends. They'd back the up and think, holy I almost took an acid shower, and then probably Reed, no!
I knew if I kept prodding you that you would rise to my challenge.
Except you needed Reed to make that happen, so really Rossi played zero part in the resolution other than he's an author.
I killed 12 people because of you.
Did you get all that?
Every word, boss.
But how? Is Rossi's shoulder mic'd up? The confession was at a whisper, directly into Rossi's ear. Quite sexy, actually. very distracting.
Teaching.
Yeah, I teach interrogation at the FBI Academy.
And do your classes cover the importance of being aware of where a suspect is in relation to your body? You're just going to completely ignore that the killer is standing over you while you're on the phone. I don't think you're a very good teacher.
You'll only face murder charges on the original 7 women.
Yep, and those assholes, since all we really care about are the people that made it into this episode.
I'm gonna be there when they strap you down for that lethal injection. I'm gonna lean in real close and tell you to say hello to your scumbag brother.
Well, now you've ruined the element of surprise. Oh, how kind of the police to drape his jacket over his shoulders. I'm sure this courtesy is extended to every criminal who wears a suit coat to an interrogation.
Here he is, Davy Jones!
How happy would it make you to hurt me with impunity?
That hurts my feelings. I would never.
You wouldn't, only because there's consequences.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill.
Try Prentice or Reed.
It's a trap. Hello, Neil.
Who are you?
I am the architect. I created the Matrix. I've been waiting for you.